started. I don't know where Charlie is. What's that? Yeah. Good afternoon. We'll call the New Shoreham School Committee meeting for August 3rd, 4 o'clock to order. First item is roll call. We have Superintendent Bob Hicks, Ryan McGarry, Greta Hines, Annie Hall, myself, Christopher Willey. First item are minutes for approval from July 17th and July 28th. Hi, Charlie.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from July 17th. Should we make two separate motions?
Yes, please. Yep.
Okay. And I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Let's approve the first ones.
Okay.
Okay. Any discussion for July 17th? All in favor?
Aye.
Now for July 28th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for July 28th, 2026.
Any discussion? Or any changes? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Next item is superintendent's report.
I don't have that much. I do have some additional athletic appointments, but those can come elsewhere on the agenda.
Okay.
But other than what's on the agenda, I would just add to you that, an update, while we're still dotting some i's and crossing some t's, it looks like we are in good shape for the second math position, for the special education position, and for the speech pathology position. Those seem to be falling into place, but I'll have names for you clearly by the next meeting. But we're dotting, people are accepting things
Yep.
and getting paperwork done and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have OT?
I don't know about OT. Oh, did we post OT? I don't remember an OT posting.
I think our OT was needed.
I will have to look into that. I will get you information on that. I don't think we had an OT posting, but I will get information on that out to you.
Next item is cell phone policy.
You have a cell phone policy. A couple of things I would mention is, one is, I'm sorry. Is that better? I'm sorry to people who were listening and couldn't hear me. Our practice has been not to allow cell phones, but the law is broader than that. And the law does not permit personal electronic devices, so tablets and personal computers. And I think we've, in the past, allowed kids to bring their own personal computers. So under the statute, that is not permitted. So this policy reflects the statute, not what has been our past practice. So that will take some getting people used to know that, making sure we have computers in school for everybody, but it's not, I went back and rechecked the law today, and the statute is clear. So what is in the policy you have now is what is in reflective of the statute, governing that. Also, on section E6 is a giveaway on who I was plagiarizing. And I can make that editorial change. And this was, I think the committee had mentioned this about, that's a section about adults, oh my God, blocking on the name, modeling the behavior that we expect of students. And this has been reviewed by council, and we will, I think, also have to go back and make some handbook modifications for this. But this is a policy that would have us compliant with the statute.
I like the policy. How do other schools handle the actual enforcement of it, or like phones in class, et cetera?
Yep.
Is it like,
So actually, that's evolving because as the strategies evolve, students have managed to stay a step ahead of the strategies. For example, where my granddaughter just graduated high school, they use the pouches. And she says, no problem, I just find an old phone somewhere and throw it in the pouch, and it doesn't matter. The pouches have not been found to be completely effective. But I think our class sizes are smaller and it's easier to see here, so I think it would be harder to hide use of a cell phone than it might be in a mainland classroom. But it's basically it's important for the teachers to monitor that. And that's where the major enforcement comes. And I said, the one thing that a lot of schools have done is to use those pouches. Are you familiar with the pouches? Yeah. But I was speaking with the tech director in South Kingstown about how you control access to the web and stuff like that. And the kids are good at setting up their own separate networks and getting around the network restrictions that way. So it is, it's like an arms race around not using technology. But but it does vary, and the most common one is the pouches. But those have been found to be not completely effective.
It sounds like this will be an evolution of,
Yes.
okay.
One thing under the definitions that I see a potential problem with is headphones. I feel like that's something that is permitted, but I guess if you don't have your phone, then you can't use your headphones to listen to something anyway, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, do we, is that something that's, and if we provide students headphones because it's required for something,
Right.
that's something we could do.
Yeah, it's a good point. If they have their headphones, it's probably hooked up to their phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless it's hooked up to their tablet that the school provides, that's different, but.
Yeah.
Right.
And there are provisions in the policy for students who have individual needs who require technology and things like that.
Right. So we're sitting on this for a month, right?
Yep, mm-hmm. This can come back next month. Yep, this is the first time you've seen this.
All right, any other questions?
I have all kinds of questions about it, but
Yeah.
it's just, like you said, it's an arms race. It's just that I think that it needs to be better explained, like even just school staff expectations, number one, all educators and staff member will exercise sound professional judgment and best practices when addressing student violations of the policy. That is so broad. You know, I mean, this as it sits has no teeth whatsoever, you know, and it just, there's all sorts of stuff in it that is. I read it this morning or this afternoon when I got it, and, you know, no use of school devices at school-sponsored events. That means that all the kids going to athletic events aren't gonna be allowed to use their phones.
I don't know,
There's
yeah.
all, like,
Yeah.
I think, you know, I looked at it, like I said earlier, I forgot half the stuff, but I had problems with it. I was trying to read through it really quickly, but.
So if it is helpful, and if this is the committee's preference, there are policies who have tables and grids that go over, if you do this, this is the first offense, this is the second offense, and it lays that out in a pretty detailed way. If you'd like to see one of those, I can provide that to you in the next copy for you to take a look at.
I think just something that, you know, like I said, if you look through this, it's very broad, very, very broad. And, you know, I understand that we don't want to complicate it too much,
Yeah.
but if we're going to have a policy, at least it should be a policy, you know, not like someone's interpretation of a writing, which is what, this is very open to interpretation.
Yeah. Well, I think the intention was for like repeat offenses and things like that to sort of refer people back to the handbook for the discipline policy in the handbook, and then not repeat what's in the handbook in the policy. that was sort of the thinking about keeping it general. But again, if you'd like, there are tables that we can put in that would explicitly lay out what would happen for each offense.
So we can dig into this and then come back with our ideas, and
You know,
I
the
agree
thing-
with
the
you.
Beautiful thing with policies is that we can change them. You
Yeah.
know, we can adopt this policy and then revisit it again and add to it, or take away from it, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, I can send you out an example of one of those tables, and then you can take a look at it and see what you think of it.
Okay.
And I think off-island games, we have to have something in here about off-island games because, you know, sometimes they're away overnight.
Yeah.
That's easy enough to add, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any other questions? Item number 5, flag
hand up.
policy.
You have a hand
What's that? Whose hand's up?
Just wondering, were any teachers or administrators consulted about the policy?
The policy presented is one that's
It-
the state statute, right?
Yeah, yep.
So it's
There was
not-
administrative involvement in it. It was kind of starting there when I started it, but it's mostly been administrative involvement in the policy.
Anything else? Next item is the flag policy.
This takes the policy that came to you earlier, and it adds the word permanently about 2/3 of the way down to acknowledge that flags can be an important part of educational activities in the school. And the second one is it adds the town of New Shoreham flag. Aside from that, it's the policy you had earlier.
Any questions? We had this at the last agenda, or our last meeting on the agenda, so the additions have been made that were requested. Do you have anything, Annie?
No.
Greta? Brian? I'll make a motion to approve the flag policy as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item is the clerk appointment.
The committee has a revised clerk job description, which is based upon the supplemental. I do have that.
We do have it.
There it is. Oh. This updates the responsibilities of the clerk with input from Gus and our attorney, and moves the technology part over to the clerk, and renews the contract with a $38 per hour salary.
Anybody have any questions?
Here it is.
Yeah.
I think one thing that we've discussed a few times is the calendar that we need to follow in terms of our deadlines throughout the year. And I think historically, that was the administrator to the superintendent. at one point, but I don't see any language about that. So if it's now the clerk's responsibility, I feel like we should add something about that.
Coincidentally, the reappointment of the clerk should be on the calendar for before June 30th.
Please.
Right. So, I don't know how things work, and since you're interim, you
Yeah.
probably don't know as well either, but.
Yeah, it is, I mean, in my experience, the clerk's position was merged with another position, so I'm sort of
Right.
learning how it works separately.
The calendar, I think, would fall, I mean, the calendar's a calendar. Once we make it, it's just something that is maintained, right? Unless there's
Yeah.
something new, like we
Right.
talked about that quite a bit, as far as appointments, renewals, contracts, et cetera. So once that calendar's established, it should just be, I would think, in perpetuity till it needs to be changed, right? Meaning I don't see it as the clerk needing to, like, it's, when we approve our schedule, approve our, school committee schedule, there should be a asterisk next to each meeting that has reappointments, contracts, notifications, et cetera.
I mean, you are right, that Marcia had said, okay, at this meeting we do this, at this meeting we do that, at that meeting we do that, and she had the whole year laid out for what was done at what meetings, yeah.
So we should get that laid out.
Yeah, we need to do that. So that's,
Revisit.
maybe this is separate from the clerk's job, but that's just, okay, can we
But-
work on that at the next meeting?
The calendar, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint. What was your name? Yeah, I wanna make sure I get it. Angus Williard? As the clerk
To the school committee.
for the school committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Oh,
Aye.
Sorry.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
One, on number 8, the clerk's communications to the discuss the school committee chair and the superintendent of schools.
Mhm.
What does that mean?
That means he's communicating with exactly what it says, like,
But any communication or just regarding like agenda or policy or there's no communication from the
No, I think that was recommended by by our attorney, and it's to make sure that when the clerk communicates with the committee, communicates with the whole committee. So through the chair, there should not be separate communications between the clerk and individual school committee members, but that outlines the way of formal communications about setting up the agenda, setting up minutes, things like that.
Okay, thank you. And then my second question was, when talking about planning, who's supposed to keep records of different things? I submitted a public records request and was told by the school that those records aren't kept and they should be kept. So I'm wondering, if that's something you can look at when you're considering whose job it is to keep those records?
Sure, and can you tell me afterwards about the specifics of that, so I can?
Yeah, I wanted the records of the professional development the school committee's supposed to do, the 6 hours.
That was you, okay, I didn't realize that, yeah,
And they're not
yeah.
currently being kept?
So they have not been checked. I checked through, and we checked through the statute, and there doesn't appear to be any requirement for school committees to keep that record.
Okay, that's not the information that I received.
Oh, okay, so I'd be glad to, if you have time tomorrow to come by, I'll be here.
Just provide that information to,
Yeah. Yep,
assuming
I can't provide what I don't have.
questions?
I mean, I'm not hiding it or anything, it's just, I don't have it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Find my agenda again. Next item is a permanent substitute position.
Yeah. One thing, we've had some substitute issues and challenges, and sometimes been difficult for Laura as well. And one thing a lot of school districts do is, some of them do it for a lot of them, but to have a person that you commit will use you every day if you agree to be available every day. And that's something that I think could be helpful to us, and just it's a recommendation that comes to the administration.
so would this person be on, like, would they be on salary with benefits, or?
We could give the person health care, but their salary would be governed by, we have a policy about substitute pay.
Right.
And they would be paid according to our policy for substitute
Just
pay.
the daily pay?
Yep.
Times 180 days
Yep.
or whatever. And so what if they weren't available?
So then we'd have to not pay them for that day.
Okay, so it's a per diem kind of
Yes.
thing, with the assumption that they're going to be
Yeah.
here.
Right, there's a shared guarantee that.
Right.
If you come every day, we're not going to call you, be here.
That happens in,
A lot of schools.
yeah, many school districts. It's unusual that we don't have one, honestly.
And I think we've talked about the amount of substitute, the amount we need substitutes in general, so it kind of makes sense. Anybody want to make a motion?
Make a motion to create a permanent substitute position.
Second.
Discussion.
Well, so are we entertaining benefits, or are we just going to do the per diem amount? And I mean, I don't know what other schools do, but it seems very vague.
It varies. There are some schools that provide benefits that some don't. I think could afford to do it. We've had some savings in our hiring salaries so far this year, and it would help keep somebody on board if we did that. It would cost about $8,500 to do that.
So I'm just of the opinion that, if we're gonna hire someone as a permanent position, it's a permanent position. Why are they getting paid as a sub? That's kind of the way I look at it, you know what I mean? That's more Melanie's wheelhouse than it is mine. But I would be all for hiring someone permanently and offering them the benefits that a permanent teacher gets. It's my opinion.
Okay. So that becomes a much more complicated situation. It's you're adding another staff member, which would be a lot more expensive than and you could do this with someone who has substitute certification, but you could not hire a bargaining unit member with substitute certification. So it makes it much more accessible for someone.
I don't know, I'm making sure everything's done. Y'all done?
Yeah.
You gotta use mics, guys.
Oh, yeah.
You're a substitute, you don't have to have the four-year degree. If someone wanted the permanent sub position and came in with a had a Rhode Island teaching certificate, the big question is there, at what rate of pay would it be? Is it going to be that of a substitute or an aide versus it's almost double. Okay, just case in point there, in case you were not aware of that.
What's the rate for a permanent substitute? I mean, a long-term substitute. You know?
So a regular daily sub is $135 a day. The rate only goes up if the first tier is if you work 10 consecutive days in the same position, and then the next tier is a full quarter in the same position. So what I understand with this one, they'd be hopping around in all different positions, so they wouldn't qualify for the tier 2 or the tier 3.
Thank you.
Just another question, kind of piggybacking that. So, like, we have a permanent sub. We need somebody to fill a singular position for 3 months, 4 months. Could that trigger the long-term sub pay if they aren't bouncing around? I know ideally we would hire them to bounce around.
So if we needed someone for a quarter or a long period of time, I would think that would not be something we would look to put this person in. We would look for something who is experienced and certified in that area if we could, as obviously a first choice.
Bob, can you just explain the salary cost? So we'd pay that sub even if we didn't need a sub? Is
Right,
that how you-
right.
Yeah.
They would have
So
another
they'd be
use
in
in the building, right. Assisting out like a teacher assistant or something like that, yes.
Okay. So who would be in charge of kind of making
Delegating.
sure that they're doing
It's a good question.
something, or would they just leave? Like, how does that look?
That would be up to the principal to supervise that.
I wonder how many days there have been in the past few years where we haven't needed a sub. Yeah.
Very few.
I'm not against it. I'm just
Yep.
pondering.
Anything else? I'll call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item number 8,
Yes. This is a recommendation that actually the former superintendent and principal had conducted the interviews and offered the person to someone, offered the position to someone, and that person accepted, but it in the turnover, it didn't get to you. So I am bringing to you. So those interviews and that recommendation, and the person had accepted the position, was made prior.
So we don't have to appoint, or we do have to appoint? We do? Okay. They made the recommendation. We just.
Yes.
Okay. So I make a motion to appoint Norman Riker to the athletic director position.
Second.
any discussion or questions?
What's,
You ready?
I have a question.
Is Norman here?
Is
Is Norman here?
What's the,
White shirt.
what is the term? Is it permanent until they decide they're done? I just don't know. Is it,
It's for a year.
it's for a
Yeah,
year?
it's a
Okay.
year, it's a yearly term.
It's supposed to be handled like coaches are with, you know, we appoint coaches every year. Same coaches can apply every year, but we always re-advertise every year in case there's anybody out there that is interested in, you know, helping with the athletic programs on a coaching basis. So we do the same thing for the AD, or we're supposed to do the same thing for the AD. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 9. Girls varsity head coach appointment.
Yeah, that's basketball. doesn't say here.
Varsity basketball?
Yep.
Have we
Head coach.
advertised it?
I believe so, yes.
Yep. It went out.
So we've advertised positions for all coaches for all seasons, or?
I can't answer that.
I
saw that.
don't know if they've all gone out or not. I'm sorry, I don't.
I saw this one.
Before only did fall and winter, because the spring, the past couple of years, it's been a little unsure of what sports we were offering.
Okay.
She held off on that one.
So soccer, volleyball, and then all the basketball.
For girls volleyball
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
cross.
And cross country.
Yeah.
You said you had additions.
I do, yeah. Do you want me to
Yeah.
go over the additional coaching?
Why don't we go over the additional
sure.
recommendations?
For middle school soccer, I have Tracy Hines for head coach and Chris Fallon for assistant. For middle school cross country, I have Neil Murphy. For varsity soccer, I have Danilo Pineda. And for varsity cross country, Neil Murphy.
So moved.
Any questions?
Do we have an assistant coach for soccer yet? Obviously not if it's not listed. Still out there?
Evidently not yet. no.
Not yet. Anyone? Good? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there no executive session?
Not that I have.
No.
no.
Then I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next meeting's next Monday.
Can't wait.